on the right one, aren't I? Yes, I'm the right one. Okay. Okay. All right. Get the chair ready. Right? What are you thinking? What are you thinking, huh? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? What are you thinking, little dog? Hello. Welcome to the end of everything. Here at Houston, a problem where the problems are compounding daily, and the solutions to it seem to be somehow out of reach for our society because we've broken everything. At least we raised around $1,300 for the Thurgood Marshall College Fund on Friday to cap off Black History Month. But today, Donald Trump signed 3 tariffs, 20% increase in tariffs to China, 25% tariffs to Canada and Mexico. The market is going to free fall tomorrow. The Atlanta Fed, before the tariffs were signed, was calling for 2.5% shrinkage of the quarter one results. Sorry, 2.8% shrinkage of quarter one results. That's probably going to increase here because we've got, this is the last month of quarter one, and it is going to implode. So you're probably looking at 4 to 5% for quarter 2 and 3 each, if this is the case. Yeah, it's going to get really, really bad. Quick math. The $2 trillion the Republicans voted to eliminate from the budget, that is 8 to 10% of our entire GDP. So you can already shrink the GDP by 8 to 10% on that alone. The fact that Canada and Mexico are number one trade partners and the cost of goods are going to increase by 25%, more or less. It's estimated the average car price is going to go up $12,000 as a result of these tariffs. That's because there's a global supply chain for all these parts. Sometimes you make a part in the US, it goes to Canada, gets retrofitted to something, ships to Mexico, gets fitted to something else, comes back to the US and gets assembled. So you get tariffs each time that crosses a border. So you might add, in certain cases, 50% to the price of a car, maybe even more. So tariffs and budget cut, there probably goes 20% of our GDP right off the bat. Add to that, we've got a commercial real estate bubble. That's 5%. It's $1 trillion bubble, so that's 5% of our GDP. And it's getting compounded by the fact that Doge wants to sell off every piece of government real estate, which is going to depress markets in major cities and especially the DC area a whole bunch. So there's another 5%. So now we're about 25% of our GDP gone. We have foreclosures and defaults on mortgages rivaling 2008. There's another 4 to 5%, so we're at about 30% right there. Plus, we still have to deport all of the illegal aliens who represent between 8 and 15% of our entire GDP and the work they do, which is construction, agriculture, etc. So now we're probably at about 35% shrinkage in GDP. The Great Depression was a 30% contraction of our gross domestic product. And Trump is already pushing 35 to 40% a contraction of our GDP. Now, you can ask, like, what's his goal with this? Well, Elon and the Curtis Yarvin crowd, Peter Thiel, all those dudes, they want a tech bro oligarchy / monarchy. And the only way they're going to get that is to crush all of you into peasants, because you're filth. You're nothing. You're garbage people who your only good thing to do is to be little automaton slaves working 6 days a week, 16 hours a day in some factory somewhere making widgets for them. That's it. That's your entire purpose in life. They don't recognize that if we don't have free time, if we don't have discretionary income, they can't sell shit, which means they don't make any money. You know, dirt poor peasants, mud people, they don't buy things. They subsistence farm. They live off of meager land they have and die of a toothache at age 45. That's what they have. You don't have vacations. You don't have Instagram photos of fancy, trips and movie theaters and dinners going out, right? You have a complete and utter total collapse of the economy, which results in, you get a few guys who are richer than everyone else, but comparatively, they won't even be as close to as rich as they could have been if they had a strong middle class. if people can't buy Teslas and people can't buy Tesla robots or whatever bullshit Elon is trying to sell, Elon's got nothing. He has zip, zero, nada. Bupkis. Right? We're already seeing a 45 to 53% drop in Tesla sales, which is causing Tesla stock price to free fall, which my Tesla puts printed like 116% today. So I'm cool. Keep fucking up, Elon. And with tariff signings, the whole market's going to collapse tomorrow, which means, SPY, NASDAQ, everything is going. My Tesla puts are going to continue to print. It is phenomenal what they're doing. And word is from Trump's spokeswoman that tomorrow's State of the Union address is going to be all bright and cheery about how he's going to fix the economy. Dude, you were just handed economy with regular growth. It's basically since you fucked up the economy the last time, and it took you 5 weeks to drive it off a cliff. Yeah. So, it is remarkable to me. Basically, for all of you, how you're going to make any money to survive this is going to be betting against the economy. That's it. You got to bet against every good indices we have. Bet for all the inverse indexes, because this thing is going to collapse, and it is now collapsing. But the only way you bounce back from this is a change of guard, and that's it. Someone competent being in power, no longer heeding to the special interests of the Kremlin, purposely destroying our nation. I mean, you got Pete Hegseth telling the Department of Defense to cease all cybersecurity actions. Like, no, you're not going to protect our Department of Defense, our military's computers anymore. No, you're not going to have any active hackers doing countermeasures. We're stopping that. We're stopping that entirely. We are now an open book for North Korea, China, and Russia and Iran to just poke around wherever they like, because we're not going to follow what they're doing. We're going la 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 la, and that's it. This is a very, 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 very active push to destroy this country. Never has there been a successful destruction of the United States of America in any sense, way, shape, or form as what is happening right now. We're screwed. 100% unmitigated disaster is happening. So, what can we do about it? I mean, short of revolution, probably nothing, because our elected officials, we've got like Speaker Johnson is a little bit like, oh, well, Russia's actually our enemy here. I don't feel very comfortable. But he's a big giant pussy. He's not going to do anything about it. That's about as much as you'll get out of Speaker Johnson, because they're not going to use the power of Congress to check anything Trump has done, because they're scared that Trump and Elon will spend $100 million primarying them in the next election. So if you need proof that billionaires shouldn't exist, or at least mega billionaires, there you go. There should be a ceiling. We've got a minimum wage. We should have a maximum wage too at this point, because it's proving that it's going to be the detriment of all of human society, because we don't. So, yeah, the alarm bells are ringing ding dinging, and I think I need to. This is the end of the world intro. Hey, Alexander K, can you make me an end of the world intro? Until then, is the world blowing up? For my water. Dang it. I have an idea. No, I will wait. I can go an hour without drinking water. I forgot to refill my water, and there's cat hairs and stuff in the water. I should have washed the glass and refilled it. Anywho, super chats. Super chats are hitting hard right now. Giga Shukla sends one. Oh, sorry. Jules Mammy first. Jules Mammy takes a very special idiot to drive the world's largest economy off a cliff in 4 weeks. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's two options. Either he's an idiot and his negligence and incompetence is so overwhelming that the entire economy is collapsing in 4 weeks, or they're collapsing on purpose. Because that's the only way you build a recession. You'll get the people who are like, presidents don't have anything to do with the economy. Well, obviously, this one does. he put a brick on the gas pedal and steered that sucker into a wall, and we're all jumped from the bus, and we're all stuck in it. We're gonna smash into that thing at Mach 10. Chris Taylor super chats. I read a Fed agency email today giving guidance on how to reply to the "What have you done?" Part 2 email. Last line read, "Assume that what you write will be read by malign foreign actors and tailor your response accordingly." That is very smart advice and probably very accurate. At least read by, not by individual actors, but by at least AI that's scraping all that data, because we turned off all of our cybersecurity. So what good is gonna be? So maybe write gibberish ad libs for those responses. I mean, in reality, you can just write like, what the 5 things you did last week. Elon, I did your mom. I did your dad. I did your mom again. I did Kash Patel's mom, and I did JD Vance's mom. That should be the entire five things right, because Elon's own Tesla investors sent him a letter asking the 5 things he did for them last week, which apparently was fuck all, because Tesla's dropped $100 in the last 6 trading days. So, where it's so frustrating to be able to sit here and go, oh, they're actively destroying everything, and there's literally nothing I as an individual can do. And Americans are too busy trying to survive to actually band together with any mass to do anything about it. So we're just gonna get like a tree with that axe just chopping away, and the tree can't move its branches to go, get the fuck out of here, right? We're gonna come tumbling down. Dizzy, let's research and share the best inverse ETFs, please. Well, you got anything VIX related, UVXY, VXX, those things. There's the inverse real estate one with DRV. I believe Don Cesar Shada made a great list once of all the inverse, if I remember correctly. I honestly can't remember all of them. But yeah, I usually follow VIX. I usually follow the DRV just to kind of see what the market's doing in those cases. But yeah, that's a good idea, Dizzy. Jiga Shukla, heads up. That specifically cyber ops against Russia, still bad, but being specific. Okay, sorry. Cyber ops against Russia. Russia, you are our best buddy in the entire world now. You can do anything you want unchecked. Oh, and we're also going to figure out which sanctions we can repeal, because that was also announced today, that they're going to start repealing sanctions against Russia. And the EU responded by seizing another $200 billion of ill-gotten Russian money that's been in their banks. So the U.S. government, or at least the Trump administration, is very much aligning with the axis of evil here. We're going to align with Russia, North Korea, and Iran. So just regular old state sponsors of terror. That's going to be our MO here. Is we're going to be palling and butting around with some really, really shitty economies, which is just, if you're going to be a powerful nation, the best thing you can do is find the weakest fucking terrorist dictatorships in the world and be like, these are our guys. And eschew anybody who has a strong modern economy, who actually has consumers who can buy your products. Because you don't want nations to be your friends who can actually buy things you make. You want poor as shit mud people who have really strong dictators who live a very lavish lifestyle, and everyone else basically lives off of 200 calories and potatoes a week. That is the greatest thing you can do for your economy by far. You don't want someone who can buy a Cadillac or a Maytag washer and dryer or an iPhone. Fuck that. You want a potato a week. That's going to drive your entire economy. The potato a week economy. We're going to seize on that so hard. Oh, baby. Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna figure all sorts of different ways to cook that potato. Hey, at least we'll get rid of obesity, because we'll be part of that potato week diet. We won't. It's impossible to consume 3,000 calories of potatoes. So Things are looking up. It's all my super chats. That is okay. To the top, Chris Taylor's first again. Good job. It says GMGF looks like will pop today. Any intel on that? Do you still hold that? I still have it. I have no intel. I was basically doom scrolling the pending collapse of our entire economy, so I did not pay attention to anything that GMGF is doing at the moment. We can go to their website, see if they got any graphene manufacturing group. Bing. Anything in the news page? Open up. Open up. News. Bam. There we go. Press releases. Bam. Sorry, it's got to travel to Australia and back. It's taking a moment here. There we go. March 3rd, graphene aluminum ion battery collaboration with world-leading USA Battery Innovation Center and next steps towards commercialization. That was released today. So sounds like that's why it went up, because they are getting ready for commercialization. Let's click on the learn more. Oh, wait, did I turn off the intro? I did not turn off the intro. Oh, that was close. Okay. That is nothing. Chrome, where are you? Bam. Graphene Manufacturing Group. There we are. Okay, Graphene Manufacturing Group is pleased to provide the latest progress update on the graphene aluminum ion battery technology being developed by GMG and the University of Queensland under a joint development agreement with Rio Tinto. That's a very big mining company. One of the world's largest metals and mining groups. Notably, this update includes information about GMG's graphene plus aluminum ion battery regarding scaling with the Battery Innovation Center of Indiana. So it looks like they're going to be perhaps producing them in the U.S. That's interesting. Electrochemistry optimization, 1,000 milliamp battery cell capacity, which is basically 1 amp battery cell capacity, which is about a fourth of a cell phone, but cell phones will have multiple cells inside of them. Battery testing technology readiness, next steps towards commercialization and market applications, next generation battery performance, an important milestone for GMG's graphene aluminum ion battery development. So they're pleased to sign a contract, Battery Innovation Center in the United States, support next phase. BIC is a collaborative initiative designed to incorporate leadership from renowned universities, government agencies, and commercial enterprises, which they probably don't have any funding now from those government agencies. And so that might be a problem. BIC is a public-private partnership and not-for-profit organization focused on the rapid development, testing, and commercialization of safe, reliable, and lightweight energy storage systems for defense and commercial customers. BIC is a unique organization that has been leading battery cell development for world-leading battery companies for over 10 years and has carried over 500 battery development projects. BIC's mission to accelerate innovation in the field of battery technology by providing access to the entire spectrum of research, development, commercialization, including low-volume production in a single 40,000 square foot facility located in Newberry, an hour south of Bloomington, Indiana, under one roof with virtual connections to the research and manufacturing facilities of its partners. BIC has capability in all aspects of the battery life cycle. By collaborating with BIC, GMG can take advantage of BIC's technological capabilities and manufacturing facilities and avoid the capital costs of building a pilot plant that can cost more than $10 million to produce sample cells in advance of mass production. Under a service agreement with BIC, GMG will pay for services rendered and retain all intellectual property of the development work. The service agreement with BIC will enable GMG to optimize BIC's cell design and battery manufacturing equipment during its scale-up of battery production, thereby delaying capital expenditures for manufacturing capacity until battery development is further de-risked. All right, there we go. And then it just goes into the whatchamajiggers. So looks like they did their 1,000 milliamp, got that. So they're doing the BIC pilot plant, cell testing, cell joint development partners, commercial scale battery plant construction next year, and the plant commissioned, for the large scale plant commissioned and ready to go in 2027 beyond. So all right, that's probably why I saw a little jump today, was that press release. Noted. Okay. Man, I do want water so bad. I'm gonna hit this little commercial thing. I'm gonna run and get water real quick. How do I do that? Hit this thing for the commercial thing, right? Insert ad. 1 sec. Dead air. Just empty chair still, right, monkey? Ow, it's my knee. Okay. There we go. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Whew. Sorry, I thought I could do the whole hour. It wasn't gonna happen. Water. Okay. Chris Taylor, congrats on your Tesla puts. Thank you. I'm really hoping Tesla goes to like 150. Its low last year was 188. So if it gets around, let me show you some math. Let's bring up the old calculator here. So bam. Okay, boom. Turn off the Chrome calculator. There we are. Okay, so I have 10 puts for this week at 370. We bounced off like 377. I was up like 150% at one point. I think I finished around 116%. And then I've got puts for next week at 220. So 270, 220. That's what I have. 270, 220. I got a couple of those just because I had some extra money left over. And it's like, that for next week. So here's the plan, right? Those 10 puts. If we hit 270 tomorrow or drop below that, those puts are going to be worth anywhere from $1,400 to $1,500. So let's call it 1,400, right? That's if it hits 270. So that's 14 grand. Okay. Now, it hits 270 or a little bit below. You know, if it goes to 269, 268, this ends up going to 15, 16, 17 grand, somewhere in there. Awesome. Now, take that 14, right? And I can buy 250s for the following week for, let's say 400 or so. So buy that sucker by 400. So now I've got 35 250s for next week. Now, those 35 250s, if it drops sometime in the next few days down to 250, now I've got about 1,400 each. So now I'm sitting at $49,000. Cool, right? I'm looking at the march to 150 for this thing. So now I can go and I can buy 230s at about $400 each. So I'll divide that by 400. And now I've got 122. We'll just round it to 122. So, all right, clear, 122. Now I've got 122 at 230, right? And that gets down, if the stock price gets down to around $230, each one of those is worth about $1,400. Right? Now I'm at 170K. And now I can buy 2 10s. Okay, sweet. At about $400 each. I now have 427 of those bad boys. It gets down to around 210. Well, again, make that around 1,400 for the premium. And now I'm at 597K. 597K now nets me more than 1,000 of those suckers. So if I'm now looking at 190s, okay, so it hits 210, I go for 190s. I get as many of those as I possibly can at or around $400. I now get basically 1,500 of them. So that's around $2 million now if it hits at 190. And at $2 million, well, shit. If we're taking that road to 150 at $2 million at $400 a pop, if I'm now buying 190s, 170s, I can now buy 5,000 of those things times 1,400. Oops. Come on, don't click so many times. If it gets to 170, I can make $7 million off of this play. That's if its progression goes down. Each time I'll probably buy for a week further out than the time before because I don't know how fast it will drop in that time. So give or take, maybe it's $500 for the puts, $400. So, you know, it could vary. But that's kind of the goal with a Tesla collapse. Is that, come on, man, we need those quarterly reports also to show that they aren't selling shit to anybody. It'd be very nice. But Yeah, Tesla puts, print away. I will ride that thing down as far as you let me. Because if it goes to last year's low of 188, I'm still right about there. So why not? You know, got to throw some turd at the wall, make it stick. I know how assholes work. I'm finally able to use my asshole ESP to benefit myself. I will gladly do it. Ace Ventura Super Chats. Hi, Houston. Can you explain how firing this many people across the country won't cause a recession that only the rich will benefit from? The rich aren't going to benefit either. That's the thing. This is so stupid, is that the rich are going to see their wealth blink out of existence as well. I mean, if you're rich, right, and you are selling goods and you're importing stuff and shipping it across the world, right, and we can no longer keep up to date on GPS, on weather satellites, on weather forecasting, your ships are going to get sunk by hurricanes out in the ocean because you have no idea they're out there. None. So you're going to lose your products. Insurance companies are going to be paying through the nose. Insurance costs are going to go up. Shipping costs are going to go through the roof, right? If say, you know, you have your goods on a train and that train is passing through the Midwest during a giant thunderstorm that you didn't hear about, and those trains get knocked off the rails by a tornado, oops, right? You know, the SEC is basically getting rid of everybody at the SEC. So there's going to be zero regulation enforcement of anything. So frauds are going to go unchecked. We're doomed. Frauds create bubbles. Bubbles create collapse. Collapse creates a need to spend our way out of it. And we aren't going to have any of the resources to do that. So it's going to be a prolonged, protracted, evil, horrible business. So yeah, rich people also make money off of government contracts. If they're canceling all the government contracts, then all the rich people will stop having money. You know, Elon better watch out for Boeing's assassins at this point, because if Boeing's losing government contracts, Boeing's going to go, we're done here. Right? Because you do not touch those defense contractors' contracts, which they're like, touch. Those guys, their job is war and making killing machines. You might pretend like that's your job, Elon, but you have never made a killing machine in your life. You make little robots that are actually controlled by somebody via remote control, and that's the best you've done. These guys make silent stealth UAVs that can nuke you from the stratosphere. He's going to make a misstep. He's going to piss off the wrong actual billionaire who has billions of dollars in cash, and it's not just in Tesla stock that's vaporizing. So yeah, recessions do not benefit. Well, they benefit the cash rich, but there's not enough people who are cash rich to truly benefit. So Warren Buffett will benefit. You know, Jamie Dimon sold off $233 million in stocks, so he's got a little bit of cash around. But the banks don't have cash. Most people don't have cash. Only a select few do. Those guys will benefit. Everyone else will just watch their wealth vaporize. All of a sudden, as their wealth vaporizes, they will not meet the margin that they use to purchase their real estate, their homes, their vacation homes, their cars. They won't be able to keep up on their leases, pay for their mistresses, you know, the maintenance on their private jet, and it's all just going to crumble. A rising tide lifts all boats, and we're out there fucking sinking everything, going, right? So, yeah, I do not know how they really truly plan to benefit from this, other than create a post-apocalyptic state where they are somehow warlords of their own little fiefdoms. And what kind of life is that, dude? I guess you get to like trade gunpowder and refined gasoline for women, and live like Immortan Joe or something. But I honestly don't know. I don't know why that would be your fantasy. Yeah. Ontario will cut off. So Julius Mammy, Ontario will cut off U.S. electricity exports to border states if tariffs go through tomorrow. Good. We need to face consequences for our actions. Good. By all means. I live in Washington. We're a net energy exporter, so fuck the rest of you. Like, we're okay. So yeah, good for Ontario. Good for you. Cut them all off. Make sure Michigan doesn't have shit. If they Wisconsin doesn't get anything. Get what they deserve, man. By all means, let them suffer. You can't take these kind of actions and not face some sort of dire consequence for it. I mean, we are fornicating in a circular pattern, and we're discovering the ramifications of our actions right now. It is absolutely silly. And the only way you're going to get people to wake up is to make sure that their alarm didn't go off because the power was out. That's probably it. Oh shit, I got fired from my job because Donald Trump made it so Ontario cut off our power supply. Yeah, cool. You know what that's going to cause? It's going to cause coal and gas prices to go through the roof, which is going to cause U.S. energy prices to go through the roof. You think you're paying 30 cents a kilowatt hour? You're going to be paying $1 a kilowatt hour by this time next year. It's going to be rough. And you know what? As a society, we deserve it at this point, man. We deserve it. Well, okay. Kelly Reid, Atlanta Fed's GP Now real GDP estimate for the U.S. is in Q1 is negative 2.8%, worse since COVID. Plus, Trump tweets about tariffs, saying U.S. farmers going to be selling a lot, and says, "Have fun, lol, market crash." Yeah, if you can't export stuff, who are you going to sell it to, there, Donald? I mean, food imports. The United States now imports more food than it grows, which is crazy. But that started under Donald Trump in 2018 when he did his first stupid tariffs thing, and we stopped selling soybeans to the rest of the world. So yeah, we're gonna sell it all to Americans, huh? Yeah, totally. That's totally gonna happen. Not the fact that you just flooded Central California, so we lost like half our vegetable crop for the year by needlessly emptying reservoirs of water for no reason whatsoever. Go fight fires and just empty a reservoir into the Central Valley. That has nothing to do with Los Angeles. Monkey, fat cat. Come on, guys. At least you can go out and catch mice. I don't know about your bunny catching skills now that you can't corner anymore, but you know, they got to do something. They got to pull their own weight around here. And Kelly says, also happy birthday. What's your thoughts on Trump's crypto reserve? Well, the crypto reserve, I guess, will do one thing. We will take a whole bunch of money that should have been spent on services and things by the government, and we're going to buy a whole bunch of ones and zeros. The price will go, woohoo! And then it will collapse because the buyer pressure will disappear. And we'll be left with less than we had before. That's what I think is going to happen, because that's exactly what's happening right now. If Ryan Cohen had listened to everybody and bought when I was on buy Bitcoin, he'd have like 1.2 billion less than he started with. Crypto, I have no problem with speculating on crypto. Like, if you can make money off somebody and you can get what you can out of those idiots, by all means, crypto away. But as a fundamental system of currency and storage of value, it is fucking stupid. It is so dumb. Now, let's say you are a super crypto guy and you are in Erie, Pennsylvania, right? In a state that managed somehow, weirdly, against all odds and polling, voted for Trump. You're like, crypto, crypto, crypto. And Ontario cuts you off of your electricity. Cool. Good luck accessing your wallet without internet or electricity. Good job. At least with a bank, you can go in and be like, hey, I have this money. And they go, they check their ledger and they go, oh, yeah, here's your money, right? You're going to have to like somehow travel to another state that still has electricity to utilize your crypto. But how are you going to travel to that state? You can't buy gas because all your money's in the crypto, right? It's trapped. Your magic electronic beans are trapped. And you have no power. So, like, what then? Like, what then? We're putting everything into crypto, man. Fuck everything else, brah. Crypto is the future. Let's fucking go, right? It's just as a utility, it is so stupid. Again, you want to pay for crimes? Awesome. You want to launder money? Cool. If you want to speculate, right on. If you want to use it to actually pay for goods and services, ain't happening. It just isn't. The few instances it's used to pay for goods and services, The people who bought the stuff with it regret everything, right? They had the videos in El Salvador when they're like, we're going to go to a Bitcoin economy. And they had guys like booping their phone to buy a beer and discovering they just spent like $1,200 for a beer because, oh, it's gone now. Nothing you can do about it. Sucker, right? There's like, at least if I buy something or I get cheated and I've got a Visa card, there's some sort of insurance program so that I can get my transaction reversed. It ain't happening with a crypto state. It's not happening at all. It is nothing but one person scamming another over and over and over and over again. That is all we have. We got rug pulls. We have Ponzi schemes. We've got, fraudsters and hackers and everything else. And it's just, that's all it's going to be. And the fact that we're like tuning down our ability at doing internet security as a government, having a crypto reserve, they'll be largely unguarded. And all you need is one Chinese dude with access to a quantum computer to suck out our entire reserve. Gone. And there's nothing you can do about it. Can't reverse that transaction. They are in the wind. It's stupid. Like, somebody used 50x leverage Saturday night to buy $200 million in Bitcoin, knowing full well Trump was going to make that announcement yesterday morning, and saw the 15-point rise in prices and immediately sold, and then come right back down again, man. Right back down. We're at 93,000, 83, 84 right now for Bitcoin. It's coming right back down. It's, by all means, use it to speculate and to take other people for as much money as you can, because you may as well get yours while you can. But as a long-term solution to everything, it's dumb as hell. Absolutely dumb as hell. And Trump's only going to do it to benefit himself. That's it. It's going to be his crypto, not yours. So, because that's who he is. That's who he surrounded himself with. They're just a bunch of grifters. Yeah. So, Aunt Friend is here from Wahoo. And 9. One of these times, the emojis will mean something. They will, won't they? Watching the Oscars? I did a little bit. I hung out with my mom, watched some of it. Yeah, Conan did all right for what I saw. And then we watched 60 Minutes, and I don't know how it ended. But, yeah. The only movie that was nominated for anything that I actually saw last year was Dune. And I thought Dune was really, really boring. Really boring. It was beautiful. It was nice to look at, but it was just a 2.5 hour long montage. It was just like, you got to have a montage and just montage its way through it and then ended. And I was like, cool. It's like watching a movie full of bullet points at a presentation. Like might as well have been a PowerPoint presentation of, this is how Paul Atreides became a warrior prince to a false messiah in these steps. And that's basically how it felt to me. I never heard of any of their movies. My roommate said The Conclave was the most boring thing he ever saw in his life, and that he watched about 10 minutes of The Brutalist, and he was like, this is cool. This is okay. And then saw it was like 3.5 hours long, and he's like, not that cool. So that's my entire experience with all the movies that were nominated. Karen Mirza. Canada might refuse potash to USA or 25% tariff. Good. Canada, get yours. Be as petty as you want to be. I fully support you. Petty away. You've earned every right to be as petty as you absolutely want. And I am here for it. Do it. Petty that bitch up. Right, Kitty? You're cool with it, right? Yep, Kitty's totally fine with it. I saw your Twitch. That means yes. So Cameron, you have my blessing to petty us all day long. Turn this into a full-blown trade war. Bring everything to a grinding halt so that we finally experience just how good we have it. Because we are not the goddamn rugged individualists we all want to pretend we are. We live in a freaking society with global trade where we benefit from each other constantly. So, yeah. If you want to see how shutting yourself off from the world works, look at Cuba, look at Iran. Look at Russia, look at North Korea. That's what isolationism gets you. That's what being shunned by the rest of the world gets you. Why are we running headlong into this as if it's some sort of solution to a problem that doesn't exist? People are like, oh, the trade deficit. Who gives a flying fuck about trade deficit? Go read about modern monetary policy. We invent money. We own the printers. We can print as much as we want, and we ship money elsewhere, and we get stuff for it, right? Oh, no. I minted a bunch of paper, and as a result, I got a whole bunch of washing machines and cars, right? Like, who cares about a trade deficit? They're getting useless paper. We're getting cool shit. That is, you were at the pinnacle when you can finally do that, right? And you're like, oh, we're going to close USAID. If you want to complain about the dollar's going to lose hegemony to BRICS or other nations, right? Then you do things, and you do things like close USAID. You know what USAID, the purpose of USAID is? One, soft power. We go into places, we do good things, we go, oh, wow, thank you for helping us. We now think positive things about America. You brought power to Moldova, right? Two, to get US dollars out of the country being spent elsewhere so that those people use those dollars and then buy shit we make with it. That's the purpose. Those are the two purposes. Soft power to get US dollars circulating around the globe. Boom, done. And we just canceled all of it. So now we look like dicks and no one's using our dollars. That means they don't need to buy shit from us anymore because someone else is going to go in there, the Chinese with some yuan, Europeans with some euros, and they're going to buy their stuff from someone else. So even the things we make, we aren't going to be able to sell on the global market anymore because no one's going to have the dollars to buy it. You're fucking up, Elon, and you're doing it on purpose. You fool, you supposedly have an economics degree. You know exactly what you're doing. You're fucking everything up to create some sort of weird monarchist system, and that's what you're going to create. We're going to have like King Elon. We're going to have to like kiss your stupid ring or something. Everyone shall be shaped like a trapezoid from hereby forward as dictated by King Elon. And everyone's going to have to get a botched penis enlargement surgery so I don't feel alone. And you're all going to jerk off into cups. That's the future. Scissor54, it's time to rise up, America. You are at war. The enemy is your president. Stand now, stand free, or live to see a world shackled by the rich. Hashtag free America from oligarchs. Yeah, we're doomed otherwise. We are headlong into this, and you know, I know there's probably not very many MAGA people left watching my show ever. I think I've chased them all away at this point. Why don't you talk about GameStop? Because there's other shit going on, man. But I told you so. I fucking told you so. I told you so. I told you so. We all told you so. This is exactly what's going to happen. And you guys are doing like, lol, cry more, loser. Buddy, you're losing just as hard as I am right now. Trump's coming for you just as much as he's coming for me. He's not checking to be like, Ted Simmons, it looks like you voted for me. Therefore, my choices are not going to impact you. I'm going to spare you, and I'll move on to this other guy. That's not how it's going to work. They're going to wipe the floor with all of you, and you are going to suffer just as much as I am. The only thing is that you are going into it completely unaware and are going to be surprised by it all, whereas I am going to be like, first time, right? This is just, we're just so fucking stupid as a nation, and we made ourselves this way unnecessarily. You know, we got like the Democrats represented by the corporatists, right? Who want things to be smooth. They want to have the global transaction. They want to have like a modicum of smart people to help run companies and do things. And you want to need a worker class, and they just want everything smooth operation. They want a status quo, smooth operation. And you have the oligarch class who want to destroy everything and consolidate power under their mafia state. And those two went to war, and the oligarchs won. And why did the oligarchs lose? Because pushing for the status quo turns people off because they want some improvement to their lives. So what they see is, if I blow up the system, then the status quo will be over, and then we can rebuild from the ashes. The problem is that when you blow up the system that's getting by, and you're going to replace it with one that's worse, and your life is going to go from status quo here to post-apocalyptic dystopia down here. And that's where we're going to be having to build everything from. And guess what happens when that happens? You get 1,000 years of darkness, because that's what the Middle Ages were. They blew up the system, and used to have like roads and baths and plumbing in Great Britain. you went more than 1,000 years before we had that stuff again. So like, yeah, there's a romance and like, oh, let's blow the system up and start over. But the people who have the ability to start over, you just killed or fired in the system blowing up. And now all of you are too dumb or stupid to know how that stuff works. Like, oh, let's blow up the system. Hey, do any of you know how to operate a satellite? No. Oh, shit, probably shouldn't have killed all the satellite scientists. Right? Like, that's that we're going to have to relearn everything all over again, or we're going to be beholden to those that didn't blow up the entire system, and they will have technological superiority over us, which is how the US became the superpower it is today, was because Japan, China, and Europe were leveled by World War II. So the only people who could build anything on Earth was America. And we leveraged that into a global power structure that we are now just voluntarily destroying today. We're like, oh, maybe we should World War II ourselves and just carpet bomb the entire country. That'll solve things. And the rest of the world's like, excellent. I will build stuff and sell it to you, all in 1952. Right? So here we are. Yeah. So, yeah, Citizen 54. Citizen 54, the crypto thing is for America to bag hold after they pump and dump. Yep. That's all they're going to do. They're going to pump. They're going to dump it to the U.S. Treasury. They're going to walk with that money, and then they're going to put it in offshore accounts and live happily ever after. Murphy Studios. Now, financial advice. Should I liquidate my 401k and just hope there is no IRS to pay taxes to next year? I mean, getting out of stocks and putting it into gold or just, interest accounts, probably a really smart thing to do right now. Because that's what Warren Buffett's doing. Warren Buffett is getting rid of all the stocks, especially the ones that will definitely collapse in this coming quagmire. He's holding cash and treasury bonds that are paying interest. So doing that, like, I'll be honest, if this thing looks like it's going to shit and I somehow make enough money to become an expat somewhere else, I might take it. And just go for a foreign passport and just live off of that and never to return. The folks that saw the writing on the wall in like 1932 and did that in Germany, they're the ones who survived. So like, there's something to be said about that. People are like, "Oh, you're gonna stay and fight." I mean, I don't really have an interest in staying and fighting if I know that there's gonna be fucking like drones zapping me from above and weird robots doing all the killing. Like, that just doesn't really sit well with me. I'd rather try to I don't know, have a nice time somewhere else, take as many of my friends and family with me as I can, and just be like, this is our lives now, let's make the best of this, and then watch all that, and then maybe we can come back later and the ones that stayed will hate our guts. But that might be the only solution we have. Yeah. Turkish. Fuck. Where is the money, Hustowski? My hands and tits are gone from twiddling. It's been 84 years. What the fuck? Seriously. Like, Ryan should have pulled this trigger months ago, and he has not. So, I don't know. That's why I keep doing my options runs, because my buying holding, I've bought, I've held, it's sitting there. I don't fucking, if something happens, cool, fantastic, I've done that part. Now I need to be more active and hope that one of these lotto tickets pays off, and then I happen to, like, make my trick shot. Let's see where it goes, because right? Steel Horse Nomad. Trump tweeting meme coins on a weekend is so obvious. It's pump and dump. More baggies have been born. Yeah, exactly. Dizzy, I bought SKRE for this exact reason. What's SKRE? SKRE. Price. Oops, I did price. I can do that. I can write the word price, can't I? Apparently I can't write. Scary. Turtle Bay Capital Inverse Regional Banks ETF. Oh, there you go. Oh, it went up a little bit today. How have you been doing over the last week here? Pretty flat. Big jump over the last month from 11 to almost 13. It was big in October. And year to date, it's their 5 year. 5 year, we had big numbers June of this past year. And it's only been around since January of this last year. Okay, not too bad. It's inverse regional bank ETF. And the regional banks are definitely going to blink out of existence because they can't hold on to those commercial bonds anymore. They're worth nothing. And all of their depositors' money is gone, basically. I mean, commercial real estate prices are down on average 18%. That's only because not that many have been sold. A lot of them are just being held on to out of fear if they sell them, it's going to drop even more. And a lot of stuff that has been selling for like pennies on the dollar. You know, a building that was bought for $30 million is selling for $2 million. You've got towers in cities like Baltimore that should be like a $100 million tower selling for $2 million. That's a larger than 18% drop in cities like that. Around DC, you won't be able to give away office buildings. The DC market is going to collapse in a huge way. In DC, prior to 5 weeks ago, had one of the highest GDPs in the entire country, or per capita GDPs, and now it's gone. Those people are jobless. They're going to be homeless. If you look at real estate maps, you see all these homes all around the DC metro area up for sale, and they're not going to sell. No one's buying those houses. Because there's no one to buy those houses. Like, who's moving into DC? Like, you know what? I'm going to get myself a nice $2 million house in Arlington, and I'm going to do nothing because I'm retired because I have no job prospects in this area. Like, it's not happening, man. The Arlington house is going to sell for $225 at auction, and even that person is going to sit on it and not be able to figure out what they're going to do because there's going to be no one to rent it at that point. Everyone is losing their jobs in DC. They're moving back home. They're going to where they came from. Right? There's nothing to do in DC. They're going to go back to where the friend and family live. They're going back to New Hampshire or Colorado or wherever. They're not staying there. There's no if you're firing everybody from work in DC, there's no reason to live in the DC area. Zip zop zero dip doodle. Even Kash Patel, who's now the director of the FBI, says he's going to spend most of his time in Vegas, where he lives. Talk about like, we're going to stop work from home and make people come back to the office. You got freaking Kash Patel living in some Vegas condo with his illicit gay lover. Like, this is the weirdest place we could ever possibly be. It's so strange. Yeah, apparently if you didn't hear, Kash Patel's been living with another dude for the past couple of years in Vegas. He's not gay or anything. He just dresses in leather and lives with another man doing gay stuff. So, and now he's leading the FBI as some sort of repressed, closeted person, which, you know, you got repressed, closeted people, you got broken penile implants, you have, you know, people who paint themselves orange with weird haircuts. This is who we've chosen, and this is who we're getting, man. It reminds me of a roommate I had. She was a really bad roommate. She interviewed very well. She interviewed very well. When I interviewed her, I was like, oh, this chick seems cool. Gave her the room. Within about 3 days, I was like, oh, I made a horrible mistake. And what she would do is she would go on Tinder, and if there was a guy who was like clean cut, dressed nice, had a good job, a witty and smart and good profile, she'd go, ew, swipe left. And if there was a dude who looked like he drove a rape van and probably had a restraining order against him, she'd be like, come to mommy. Swipe. And 4 or 5 nights a week, she would beat on my door like 3 o'clock in the morning. Houston, you gotta call the cops and get this guy out of here. And that is the American voting public. Is they saw the guy with the mustache and the rape van and the restraining order and went, I'm going to slip off my seat. And that's who we chose. And now we're like beating on the door, asking for our neighbors to help get rid of this guy. And here we are. Granted, the solution to that problem was we banned her from ever bringing a man home again. She was not allowed to bring men home. She was like, but why? I'm like, hey, man, you can go to their house and get raped and murdered. They can't come here and do that to the rest of us. So if you happen to date somebody for a long period of time and you feel as though like they're the one, the rest of us in this house, we will meet you and your potential boyfriend in an off-site neutral location where we will grill the shit out of him and decide if he can come into our home or not. And that was the solution to it, is that we had to be like daddy chaperone. And that's also how we got her out of the house, because she finally met a guy, fell in love, and we went to go have dinner and interview him. And I put the seed in her head of them moving in together, and it worked perfectly. I was like, oh, you guys really like each other? They're like, yeah. Like, so when are you moving in together? And she was like, oh, I hadn't even thought of that. When are we moving in together? And then they moved in together, and I was like, done. But seriously, like, have some standards, America. For fuck's sake. Like, did your mother teach you nothing? Do we all have like weird daddy issues? Is that where we're at? And we just like want the abusive boyfriend because it just makes life interesting. Like, it's never a dull moment when you're like cowering in the corner, fearing for your life. Your time is being maximized to its fullest at that point, and you're releasing all sorts of endorphins and other weird chemical reactions in your head. So like, you're not bored. I guess that's one way to look at it. Dude. Kitty, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? You know. Okay, here we are. Oh crap! I haven't even made it to the start of the show yet in the chat. I've had like nothing but rants for the day. Okay. Oh no, I haven't to the start of the show. Okay, Snare Alert. Houston bought crypto puts today. Good. It's probably going to work out for you. Derek Horse. I feel like Pinky in Houston is the brain. How are we going to find crumbs today, brain? When we buy puts right now, buy them. Like I thought like maybe I will trade my Tesla puts for SPY puts, but I think it's going to do the same thing. I think they're both just going to fall pretty much the same rate. So I stayed on it. If I had a little more spending cash, I would diversify and get VIX calls and do a lot of stuff. But if you've got like UVXY calls for tomorrow, it's probably flying high. Let's see here. UVXY price. Yeah. It's up $4, almost $4 today. Went from 19. Its close is at almost 24. Now it's sitting at 22.47. So yeah, and it's going to go up even more tomorrow because the market's going to drop, I don't know, 1,000 points tomorrow. Easily. Unless for some reason Trump's like, guess I'm psych, I'm not going to do tariffs anymore. And then the market go, oh, yay. And their little emotions are going to get played with, just like an abuser. Right? Like, I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean it. Here's some flowers. And you go, oh, maybe he didn't actually mean it. Maybe he does actually love me. And then all of a sudden he's like, where's my sandwich, bitch? And then all of a sudden you just don't know what to do. And that is what America's going to become. We're going to be an abused wife or girlfriend to an absolutely yo-yo narcissist. And they're just going to toy with us. And so at this point forward, to protect yourself in any situation with the government, just say, what would a total asshole do? And assume that's what they're going to do. Because they're not going to do anything that benefits you. Ever. So just assume the worst, and at least you'll have the mental capacity to sort of protect yourself from the shock of that system. So yeah. Facial super chats. H. Gislini. Would Jimmy bone to $5 then $500 tomorrow? Where's Jimmy at today? When did they finish? I was too busy reading the news, actually. Jimmy dropped a little bit, 24.40. After hours, down to 24.25. my guess is it will probably drop with everything else overall, because it's just the thing is that it will drop, but it'll come to a point where it'll slow down, and then everything else will keep dropping. All the S&P stuff will keep dropping, and then when that bottoms out and people are out of margin, that's when you're going to see it rise again. So loading up on calls, I would, if I were to do calls for GameStop again, I'd probably load up for April, May, or June. Probably get a whole bunch that are within like $2 to $4 out of the money and sit on those. If you got lots of money, buy it at the money, and go from there. Not financial advisor, but yeah, that's because at some point the rest of the market's going to do the bottoming out, or at least it's going to think it's doing the bottoming out, and it's going to get to the point where hedge funds are going to start getting margin called because all their collateral is worthless, and that's when you'll see buying happen of closing positions. So I wonder how the market's going to react to Trump's State of the Union speech tomorrow. Because the State of the Union is pretty fucking miserable. He's going to be like as cheery as possible. Like, everything is fine. Egg prices are going to come down. They're going to come down real hard, real fast. You know, I've been reading about this. People are saying egg prices are coming down. Like, that's all he's going to talk about. And he's going to, and while he's absolutely obliterating the entire market. So, Cameron Mirza, JD Vance got razzed in Vermont. He put his cast iron pan in the dishwasher. JD got razzed so hard that his family just left. They left Sugar Bush. They're like, we're getting out of here. Apparently, they got video of him skiing. I have no idea if it's authenticated or not, but if he's a terrible skier. He is bunny slope. There's no sophistication to it. And he caused a giant accident between two skiers who were trying to avoid him and crashed into each other. So that was funny. But someone in the lift line was like, JD Vance is like, hi, please meet you. She's like, you're a little bitch. So, hey, you know, I don't care if the jokes people make about JD Vance are even funny, so long as they're cruel, because he's terminally online, so I know he'll see it. So by all means, be absolutely as ruthlessly cruel to JD Vance as you want. He deserves every razz he gets. So do it. You have my permission to be as mean to JD Vance as you possibly can, because that guy sucks and he's actively destroying the world. So the least you could do is be a thorn in his side and keep posting those pictures of him with the really fat head and give him some sort of weird body dysmorphia. Because fuck that guy. Yeah. Attaining oneness. Lead being in our everyday lives back in the day has really doomed us today. Dumb people suck. It was largely the collapse of the Roman Empire was the fact that everyone was so lead poisoned, because their entire water system was lead piping. Because lead's really easy to make malleable, so you can turn it into water pipes so easily. Low temperature to forge into parts. So lead was everywhere. So you combine the fact that everyone was lead poisoned and dumb as shit with the fact that their encroachment into Visigoth barbarian territory pissed off the Visigoths and barbarians, resulted in the collapse of the Roman Empire and Europe as a whole. So when they became stupid and unsophisticated is when they destroyed themselves. And, well, there you go. There you have it. The hubris and inventions end up destroying everybody in the end. And we're kind of doing ourselves, we went from like lead poisoned, asbestos poisoned, and now microplastic poisoned, and PFAS poisoned. So our DNA is just full of these little tiny micro things just slicing its way through everything. Surprised we aren't born with just tumors growing out of us at this point. But yeah, Danny Oneness, nailing it. Oh crap, I gotta go. That's a short show. I will do a show tomorrow because I'm gonna try to go back to like doing the 5 days a week, and hopefully there's no storms. The weather's been wonderful this last week, so we're doing great. So dog, cat, anything to add? No. Got water, drink. I want you all to have a great day. Hope you're planning for the 1,000-point drop tomorrow, because I think that's what's going to happen. And may you at least have a modicum of beneficiency from the end of the world. At least, ride that tidal wave into the shore. All right. Let's watch the world blow up again, because that's what we do.